Welcome back to In Pursuit 360. And in today's topic, we're not going to just be talking about an interview question per se, but maybe a lifestyle choice if you want to be a police officer. Now, what could I be talking about a lifestyle choice if you want to be a police officer? I don't know. Well, I do know, but you're getting ready to find out. All right, welcome back. In Pursuit 360, here we go again. So, a lifestyle decision or change that you may have to make or that you may want to consider if you want to be a police officer. Now, what in the world could that be? Your love life? Nah, not really. Don't, like if you're married, don't screw around on your wife because sometimes that can get you fired, or your husband or significant other or whatever, right? But no, social media. You're on it now, right? YouTube. But not just YouTube. I mean, think about Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and whatever else it is that you may be on. If you have already possibly even put anything out there that may not be considered inappropriate or smiled upon by society in general, you may want to go ahead and look at getting that cleaned up and taken down. But understand this, and this is something that I had a lot of trouble trying to teach my kids. Once you put it out there on the great wide web, or great wide web, whatever, right? Once it's out there. You can't ever 100% pull it back. It's recorded somewhere. It's saved on a server. It's somebody's like taking a screenshot of it or whatever. It's out there. And you've seen it a lot in a lot of things in life. Politicians running for office, people that are in very public positions or whatever, and then all of a sudden something that they typed up 5 or 10 years ago is suddenly coming back to haunt them, right? So it's the same thing with law enforcement and applying for an agency. Some of these bigger agencies, when you fill out the application, they want to know, do you have a Facebook page? Do you have an Instagram account? What are the titles of those? They don't want your passwords, but they're going to go look. They're going to go see what they can find. So why would a law enforcement agency do this? Why do they care what you may or may not put on social media? Because, one, can you be compromised? It's kind of like a government employee that's getting a security clearance. They need to know, is there any way that you can be blackmailed or coerced based off of some activity or information from the past? And law enforcement, they have to consider the same thing. If you put some stuff out there that maybe somebody could use against you one day. What about if you are, let's just say, extremely... Oh, I don't know. Why not? It's in the news right now. Roe v. Wade just got overturned. I don't care which way you fall on that. I have my own opinions. I'm sure that y'all do too. But if you're an extreme on one choice or the other that you put out on social media, that's something they may have to consider, because everybody has their own opinion about everything, and you're allowed to say it, right? First Amendment guarantees you to be able to have your own voice. However, law enforcement is going to be concerned if you are at an extreme with either one. If you're telling people, oh, if you murder babies, then you should be murdered yourself, or if you don't believe in a woman's right to choose, then you're a piece of crap and deserve to die. If you're putting that kind of stuff out there, then they're going to be concerned about you. So anything to an extreme is what they're gonna kind of like, be triggered by, right? So yeah, you need to keep that stuff off of there. Be very careful about. You can have your opinion, but be careful about extremes, right? Unfortunately, there are a lot of people in our society that haven't learned that lesson yet about extremes. So clean that stuff up. Don't put that out there. No matter what political things come out, don't put it out there. Perfect example, the death of George Floyd. I have some very definite ideas and thoughts about that. But my channel isn't about digging into the politics and all that of these kind of incidents that involve law enforcement. My channel's about helping you to get your dream job in law enforcement. What can I do to help get you there? So me bringing up my thoughts, my political analysis and all that of George Floyd has nothing to do with you being able to get your job. So I'm choosing not to go to an extreme. Even though I am starting a series called Off the Cuff, which I meant to start when I started the channel. It's going to kind of delve into some of it, but not one-sided, right? It's going to be kind of like an honest, two-sided view, understanding why this side says this, why this side said that, and then where it kind of falls in the middle. But anyway, so in law enforcement, you're not allowed to judge, right? So when they're checking your social media, this is kind of what they're looking for. You can have all the personal opinions you want, but when you're working, you have no personal opinions at all. You can't have your own ideas or whatever. Your decisions, your actions are based off of the Constitution, state law, county or city ordinances, and your department's policies and procedures. Those are the things that you make all your decisions on. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what you feel. If the law says, and Virginia does, when you respond to a domestic, you must, not you may, you must identify the primary aggressor, and you shall, not you may, you shall make an arrest. You have to identify a primary aggressor. You have to make an arrest. Period. Doesn't matter what you feel. Doesn't matter what you think. Doesn't matter if you think the guy or the gal deserved to get smacked because they instigated like a ton of stuff, right? The law's very clear with that, and you don't get to make that choice. So you have to be impartial. Somebody can spit in your face. Happened to me. You can't hit them. You can't accidentally have to slam on your brakes because a dog ran in front of your car when you're on your way to the jail. That really doesn't work, right? You can get in trouble for that. You can't do it. You can't take things personally. You have to stay neutral. Your job is to investigate and enforce the law and put them into the system. You are not judge, jury, and executioner. That's not who you are. So when they go to look at all your social media, they're going to be looking for how far one way or the other do you go. Is it kind of like you're just spouting off and yeah, it's okay, whatever, it's not crazy, or is it like way extreme over to the left or over to the right? If you're at extremes, you're going to have some explaining to do. I'm not going to say that you're not absolutely going to get the job, but I'm telling you it's going to be a little bit tougher. So keep your social media decent, right? Go back and clean it up a little bit. Go back and delete, if you're on Twitter, if you've got some tweets that maybe, you got an argument with somebody and maybe got a little carried away, just go back and clear them out. Can they still be found? Yes, they can probably still be found, but you've at least made the effort to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, I was heated. The guy really made me mad. The gal really made me mad. So yeah, I wrote that. I realized that it probably didn't look really good, so I went back and took it down. Right? You can justify, you can clarify certain things, but be aware of your social media. Be aware of what you're putting out there. Be aware of what people can see from you. Nothing says, like right now, here I am on YouTube. I'm not working the street anymore, but if I was, there's a chance I could be out there on the street running a call, sitting there eating lunch somewhere, and somebody could walk up and recognize me. Well, what if I was putting extreme videos out and I arrested this person's cousin? Well, now all of a sudden they could go back to my YouTube or my social media and go, hey, when he arrested my cousin, he knew he was going to lock him up. It didn't matter if he did it or not because he said this and he said that, and it just causes trouble. So don't do it. Keep your social media clean. Make sure that it's not anything really crazy. Have your opinions. You're entitled to the First Amendment just like everybody else. But in law enforcement, part of the code is you will live your life unsullied. In other words, you're not going to do anything crazy. You're not going to break the law. You're not going to do immoral acts. You're not going to be an extremist for anything or whatever. Okay? So, there you go. Want to be a cop? Clean up your social media. Keep it clean after that. Keep pursuing your dream. Okay? All right. So, as always, I'm going to ask you, if you have not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Make sure to hit that little bell. You'll know when the next video is coming out. And give me a thumbs up. If you have to, thumbs down. Give me some comments. Give me some ideas on some other questions. If you've been on a couple of interviews, what haven't I covered yet? What would you like to see? Let me know what you'd like to see. I'll try to make sure I get it covered, and we will go from there. All right? So, in the meanwhile, y'all make sure that you're careful out there. Make sure that you keep pushing forward. Don't give up. Don't give up on your dream. And, yeah, and as I always say, make sure you're safe out there.